So last year we had the knockoff system that was the Soulja Boy console, or the Soulja console, and then of course handhelds and all kinds of stuff came out from something from Soulja Boy there. And now this year we have another knockoff system. This one's a bit funnier. I mean, that was a pretty funny situation. This one's funny in what they're trying to do to get around the branding of Nintendo and the Switch. It's something else. All right. So this was brought to my attention on Twitter by Austin John Plays. He had found it on the Off Brands Reddit, a subreddit, where people were talking about the Nanica Smitch. Yeah, they turned the W around to make Smitch. It's quite clever. So this is the page here that Austin John pointed me to. It's the as you can see, they just have the pictures there. Looks exactly like the marketing that Nintendo is using for their Switch system. And it gets better because we'll take a look at the sales page for this thing. Now, there's been some questions about how much it actually costs. Some people were thinking it was $159. That appears to be pesos if people are talking about right now. So that comes out to like $50 or so US. So it's not like overly expensive necessarily, but that should tell you right away the quality of this thing. This does appear to be a system that has games built into it, and we've seen, like we talked about Soulja Boy's system that had a bunch of stuff built into it, but that's not new for these type of systems that are knockoffs, and they're like these off-brand cheap devices that have like a bunch of ROMs loaded onto it. This one is particularly interesting to me, mostly because it claims it's like a Smitch. It's not a Switch, but a lot of us know, of course, that the Switch would hook up to your TV. So I'm curious how this thing would actually work out, because I assume it doesn't have a dock with HDMI out. And from what I've been reading with the description, it appears like it has like AV out. So I guess it still hooks up to your TV, but it's basically describing it as just like one of those off-brand consoles with a bunch of games thrown into it. But let's take a look actually at the sales page for this thing. So this is the page, Retro Console Nanica Smitch NC-014. This seller appears to be out of Colombia in South America, and I'm trying to figure out if I can get a hold of this system, because I would like to take a look at this thing. So if anyone can help me figure out where I would buy this from, I guess. I don't know if they ship from this site, if I can pick it up here, or if these things are popping up on places like AliExpress or even Amazon. I mean, Amazon has a lot of these built-in like game consoles where they just have a bunch of games thrown in there, and a lot of times they fly in the face of copyright and trademarks and all of this stuff. I mean, they had Mario directly on the front of this box, but let me show you some of these pictures here, because while it looks like that it would go in a dock, I don't know if it actually comes with a dock. I think it's just like a portable system. I mean, here's a picture of the screen. And people complain about the bezels on the Switch. Look at those bezels. Those are some bezels. I'm really curious how large this thing is, because if you look at it there, it looks absolutely tiny. I mean, those Joy-Cons could be a little larger, I guess. But like, you really look at that is a tiny system. It's like a square. It's not a rectangle. Although, did they show that on the box? Is it a square on the box? No, I think it looks kind of rectangular on the box. Oh, wow. They misrepresent the product. Go figure. But it looks like a square right there, doesn't it? I mean, it has railings for these terrible looking Joy-Cons to sit in. That looks so bad from here. This is the system it looks like, straight up with the Joy-Cons attached. Again, I'll be curious to see how all of that works out. That's one of the things I'm really curious about. When you slide the Joy-Con controllers on, does it actually make a connection to this Smitch, or does it have to sync up wirelessly, or how does this work exactly? Or, it'd be really bad is if on the back there are cables that have to plug into it. That would be terrible. I think the way that this plugs into your TV, though, is that you have separate AV cables. There is no dock here, like, at all. Although, I'm trying to figure out if that's a kickstand right here. Maybe it does have a kickstand. It'd actually not be too bad then. So they just show it off a little further with some of the railings there, and then, oh, look, it slides in, and you have, of course, your Joy-Cons for the Switch. I think those are all the pictures there. Now, they do advertise rechargeable, like console, rechargeable there. 800 games are built in, and it comes with the two controllers that we've seen. But something that throws me off here, if I scroll down, It says, play without limits in this great retro console to another level. And I'll leave a link actually to the sales page down below. If you want to take a look at it, you can. It's I wouldn't recommend buying it, obviously. I want to buy it just because I think it'd be interesting for us to open it up and take a look at it and see what's going on here. It would just be fun for a video to do that. I can't imagine this is a quality product though. But it says easy to use, simply connect the RCA cables to the TV and the power cable to the power or play portable mode. With this product, you can transport yourself to the 90s when we played in the little machines or when we had our console. This was translated by Google, so the translation could be off, and that's why it sounds a little funky there. But it says it's a rechargeable console with a 5.5-inch screen. That screen, is it just me? That screen doesn't look 5.5 inches. Am I wrong? Maybe it look a little different in person. That looks smaller. That looks like it's maybe even smaller than a PSP screen or about the same size. It doesn't look like a 5.5-inch screen to me there. But 800 games are installed, which includes Mario Bros, Bomberman. It just says against. That's probably a mistranslation. Double Dragon, Adventure Island, and many more. Probably there's also a lot of doubles in there, and a lot of these systems tend to have like 10 or 20 copies of the same Mario game. Maybe it's slightly different when it comes to like some of the colors in the game or something. That's how they fill out 800 of these games. That's what they do. So it has audio and video cable, 4 AAA batteries for the controllers. So those Joy-Con controllers for the Smitch have batteries that go in them. They don't actually charge from the center unit. They do say that the actual unit itself has a rechargeable battery for the screen and has a power cable. So at least you're not putting AAAs in that, but you still need them for the controllers anyway. That could mean, though, that maybe they do sync up wirelessly, and I guess when you connect them, they don't really connect, they just snap into place. But that would mean that they, I guess, would function as 2 separate controllers, and sideways like that, playing NES and Super Nintendo games, it would function. I mean, I don't know if it has bumpers on the top there or shoulder buttons. That would be a question because you need them for Super Nintendo games, but from what I can tell, a lot of the stuff they are advertising appear to be NES games. Like I said, there is a little picture of Mario from Super Mario 3 directly from the cover right on the front there on the bottom right. Now this says it's 19.5 centimeters wide, 10 centimeters high, and then 3 centimeters, I assume that's thick. I guess that's with the controllers on it, and when I read that, I don't think the screen is that large. I feel like the screen, just looking at it here, the screen, because those bezels look very small. I'm wondering if they're measuring from including the bezels for this. I see that screen and it's so tiny. And the controls, these look very cheap. I'm sure they're extremely light. But you know what? I am at least curious because this is a serious attempt at a Switch knockoff. And I'm trying to think if I've really seen something like this that's gone this far where you're actually attaching Joy-Con controllers in that way. And I don't think I have. This might be the first one that I've really legitimately seen take a shot at this. I mean, we've seen Nintendo, we've seen PlayStation 4 even, like knockoffs of the PS4. We've seen the Xbox knockoff. Remember that? I mean, the Soldier Boy console kind of looked like a knockoff Xbox One S. This is the first time I've seen a Switch get a knockoff like this. And I bet you there'll be more of them coming out at some point. But my favorite part about this system is them trying to name it the Nanica Smitch. That is such a funny idea. And they're also using, of course, let me make this a little bigger, the same box art. And they even changed up the logo a bit to try to kind of work that in there, right? Where they try to say, oh, it's a Switch kind of, but not really. And then they actually are using Nintendo's own images and likeness here with Mario, of course. That might be a bit of a concern, although I'm not really sure how all this goes down with some of the knockoff market, if they really get away with this kind of stuff, but that's pretty blatant having Mario on there. But yeah, they're using the same type of box art, and it looks pretty bad. Even like the photoshopping job here looks pretty bad too, where they're grabbing that controller off of there. Also, it says Nanica Smitch on the front here and here, but then at the top, it says Nanica Station. I think that's their overall brand, because if you look up Nanica Station, some other ones will come up. So I think it's Nanica Station, and this model is the Nanica Smitch is how they're doing it. interesting stuff there. And I'm going to see if I can find this thing. It's, like I said, roughly $50. It could make for a fun teardown or tech wave. And hey, if anyone out there knows where you can buy these, or you found it online anytime after, let me know. You can even email me at I have my email on Twitter, so check that out there. Or you can even message me, tweet me over on there as well on Twitter, and let me know if you found this thing so I can get it ordered and we can open up the Nanica Smitch. I'm wondering how many kids are gonna, I guess this will be in South America. People are finding it in stores. I don't know if it's just in like Colombia or if it's also being shipped around the world, other places as well. But if parents find this in stores and they think it's the Switch at that price, kid's probably going to have a pretty annoying holiday when they open it up, because they will be tricked at first, and then they'll open it and say, wait a minute, this is the Smitch. That sounds like a Simpsons episode or something, right? Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about the Nanica Smitch down below and this knockoff. It's so bad that it's hilarious, I think, to the point where I'm just laughing at it and I want to see it in person. But let me know what you guys think down below. Make sure you like the video on the way out if you liked it. Dislike it if not, and I'll see you guys next time.